Go.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago, a woman's perspective. We're coming to you live from Peoria, Illinois. We're here at the annual conference of the Illinois State Black Chamber of
All
Commerce. And
right.
I'm going to tell you, we're having a great time. I'm here with my
Yes.
colleagues, Gail and Tina. Say hi to everybody,
Hi,
Gail and Tina.
Hi,
everyone.
everyone.
So my name is Terry Simmons, and I am the owner of Strategic Exceptions Professional Consulting and the operator of Illinois Minority Business Development Agency Business Center. And we're really excited about the show
Yes, we
today,
are.
not only because we're live, but we're going to be talking about contracting and
Yes,
All right.
yes.
procurement and getting access to opportunities that will help your business thrive and grow. So I'm going to flip the mic over to Gail now. Hey, Gail.
Hi, Tina, and thanks. I am so excited to be here at the convention for the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. I am Gail Newcomb. I am the managing director of B2B Consulting and Training Services. I'm also the president and founder of the Women's Innovation Group in 4RU, and I am your business expert. Thank you, Tina. Oh, Terry. Tina.
Yes, Gail, thank you so much. I'm Tina Augustus, the president and founder of Elevate Services Marketing and Communications, and also the co-founder and president of the Chicago West Side Chamber of Commerce. Today is Thursday, August 17, and it is the second day of the Illinois State Black Chambers Conference, business conference.
Yes.
Yes.
All righty.
Okay.
So we're here live at the convention, and we're going to be talking about procurement today. We will be interviewing probably around two people, but we want to get it kicked off first and just give Terry an opportunity to talk about procurement overall.
Well, thank you, Gail. This is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. Um, and one of the reasons why is because this is a space where we do not, as minorities, there's not a lot of us playing in this space, but there's a lot of
Yes.
opportunity there. And what contracts do for businesses, they help to grow the business and create long-term sustainability. When you have contracts, you can create jobs. You can hire from the community.
That's
Yes,
And when you
correct. That's
hire from the
correct.
community, you heal the community.
Mhm.
So, what would you say to a person just starting out? So, someone comes to your office and they say, I want to start a business. I want to go into janitorial service. What would you have them do first?
Well, any business that you start, one of the key things is to understand your target market.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so you mentioned startups.
Yes.
The challenge with startups getting into the contracting space is having the history. So having the capability. So contracts are normally at the federal space, the corporate space, local governments. So there's a lot more involved in securing the contract, and history is important. But understanding that, knowing your capability to be able to secure a contract, knowing if there are any certifications that are required. So we're going to talk a lot today about, the different types of certifications that could be required. Here at the conference, we had a really good panel yesterday. Myself and Dr. Barbara
Yes,
we were
that
talking
was
about
a good
grants
panel.
and
Yes.
contracts, and then we had Justin Claiborne here from an equity fund, the Racial Equity Capital Fund, which was another opportunity. So
And so
a lot to talk about today.
I agree. So one of the things that I got off the conference, the talk from yesterday, Terry, that you were on, was that the opportunities for funding in three different areas: grants, loans,
Mhm.
but also contracts,
Right.
procurement, and going out the contracts. So if you're a new company, or let's say a company that's been in existence for about a year,
Mhm.
you're doing at least a small six figure, about 250,000 a year.
Mhm.
How would you say that company needs to go about going after maybe a new federal grant per se?
Yeah. So federal grants or federal contracts. So there's a difference between grants and contracts. So we're
Yes.
talking about two different
Yes.
opportunities for your business. So if you're going after a federal contract, there's different certifications that may be required. If you're a minority owned business, there's a certification called 8A certification. And there's a lot associated with 8A certifications. There's minority business enterprise certificate, MBE certificate. There's a woman business enterprise, WBE. And depending on where you're doing business at, what state, there may be certifications that require for that. So it's for coming to us with the Illinois MBDA, we can help work you through that challenge.
Yeah.
Right. And I think sometimes it can be overwhelming
It
for
can.
business owners when they first starting. So when you're saying, oh, there's certifications for the federal government and MBE, majority business enterprise or woman business enterprise, veteran. I know you didn't mention that,
Yeah.
but that's big. We do have women veterans.
Mhm.
Tina, where do you think we need to pull in? So if I we're still trying to dissect the company at 250,000 a year,
Mhm.
Right.
it's a cleaning company.
Mhm.
What would be your suggestion to them in terms of where to start for contracting? So
Mhm.
Terry started off by sharing about the certification parts
Right.
and that.
Right.
What would be the next steps after the certification?
Well, first, I would recommend that they start with the city to get their certification through the city, then moving on to the state. But if it's for a federal government, they would definitely need their SAM, need to register with the SAM registration, and then move on to the different categories. Because just with SAM, there are other, as Terry said, there are other registrations that you would need. And so I would just advise the individuals to contact our chambers, contact um, your company or Terry's company for instructions, because it is, as far as navigating through those different type of certifications, it can be very daunting and difficult.
And so
Yeah.
we want to move on to money though, because
Right.
you don't want to get bogged down with doing certification after
Right.
certification. So I find that if you continue to tell people to just get all their certifications, it's going to frustrate them.
Exactly.
And one certification can now start moving you into making money.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I would suggest, as you said,
Yeah.
Tina, starting with the local
Right,
certification.
right. Because
And-
now, yeah, with the city of Chicago, now with the BEP program, you can also get a dual certification,
Correct,
and that's
with
with the
Cook County.
state, with the state, and now it's with the state. There's a, because I just finished, renewing my certification with my company.
Mhm.
There's now a new feature in there where you can click and make a decision if you want to receive your certification with the state.
Oh, that's
as well.
awesome. I know they do
Mhm.
Cook County as well.
Right,
So
right.
that's awesome. So when we're moving along, we're still designing this company at 250,000, a cleaning company. And so now it's time to get an opportunity with a company. So you want to start preparing an opportunity for a job.
Right.
So you're going to start looking at companies that may be hiring a cleaning company. I know we're going to be interviewing. Which company we're interviewing today?
Well, we have a company coming up, but to your
Yes.
point, there's some things that you really need to do. A $250,000 company, whatever size it is. Tina talked about doing business with the city of Chicago. Whoever you want to do business with,
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
know your target market. You need to understand your business first of all,
Mhm.
what you're capable of doing, and your target market. Your target market may not be the city, it may be the state. Your target market may be the federal government, because the federal government is the largest procurer of goods and
Very much
services
so.
of all.
But I'm gonna
So
tell you, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
I think a little differently. My target market would start with companies outside of government for
Mhm.
one reason only. Federal government contracting, it's great once you get it, but it's hard to start and get in there.
That's true.
And we
Right.
don't want someone starting
Mhm.
off defeated.
Mhm.
So what I would do for a win, and we're talking about from a standpoint of a cleaning company, I would go after doctors. I would talk to local businesses within the community, see if they have a janitorial service,
Mhm.
cleaning up during office hours, I'm sorry, or
Mhm.
even nighttime offices.
Mhm.
Start gathering contracts that way. So
Yeah.
that means you at least have some meat in the game. You're making a profit. So
Right.
that as you start bidding on contracts, you're not in a situation where you are desperate for a contract. Yes, you want a qualified contract, you want a good contract, but you don't want to be taken advantage of either. And I
Right.
have found doing some city state contracts, they can be less likely to be financially appetizing, we should say, than a federal contract.
Mhm.
Federal contracts are always going to be a lot of opportunity for your company to be in quite the black
Mhm.
and make a lot of money.
Mhm.
And then also, you may want to look into construction companies because that's up
Yes.
and coming. Being able to be on site to clean up after a certain project area has been, completed. And then when Gail mentioned after hours, so there are also cleaning services that will come in and dust and clean, and also prepare new sites when right before business open up. So that's another area that you might want to consider if it's
Yes.
a cleaning service.
So also in terms of going after a nice size contract, you want to look at companies that are looking for minority owned, women owned opportunities. And so, one of the best things to do is I always suggest starting to look online, starting to look at some of the local companies around the area in the city you're at. So that's a good opportunity too. Right now, we're at the Paradise. Paradise possibly have a outside janitorial company. And again, this is a company we made up. It can be anything. It might be a technology company. They have a system in here that might need to get fixed. So they might bring someone in to do things like that. We're here at the convention. So there are a lot of different companies. Right now, we are at isn't there a lunch break? Lunch break is going on.
Right.
So
And then they have the keynote speaker
and the
speaking.
chemo.
So we took advantage of this time.
Yes. So we're drop what name? Oh, yes. Congressman Jonathan Jackson is actually our keynote speaker speaking at the conference right now. But what we're going to do right now is pull in our first guest to come in. And so Bridget Booker will be getting interviewed. And Bridget, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Bridget Booker. I'm the owner and founder of Rain Construction. I'm an iron worker by trade.
Awesome.
Been an iron worker for the last 11 years. I'm the first and only Black woman in my local, and I'm the first and only Black woman still a rector in the state.
Wow. So when you got started, did you find that that industry was accepting of you, or was there a little pushback?
There was definitely some pushback. My third year apprenticeship, I went through some issues. So in the midst of that, I lost my son, and there
Sorry
you
to hear
go.
that.
The first ever construction maternity leave came about that, and I pushed that forward. And now every woman in Canada has a maternity leave, and the iron workers have it, the electricians have it, the painters have it, and the bricklayers have it.
So you came in doing new history. That's awesome. So when you start going after your first procurement opportunity, what did you use to start
My
going
business,
after contracts? Yes.
the SBDC, so the Small Business Development Center, helped me out a lot as far as organizing my business and making sure I had all my certifications before I started. And my first contract was at Ameren, the utility company, and I did their fleet garage installing rebar.
How long did it take from start to finish? And ladies, you can jump in at any time.
Okay.
I know. Just jump in.
Gail is wearing this bracelet. Let me show you.
I got my believe bracelet. I got my strength bracelet.
And
She is pushing. She pushing through.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, ladies. I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit. Let them talk. Go ahead.
Thanks, Gail.
Go ahead, girl.
Let me see.
Which one to ask?
Oh, what would you ask her? You asked her something.
Well, first, I want to say I'm sorry for your loss because I caught that when you said that you lost your baby.
Yes.
Yeah. And how long has that been?
That happened in 2015 and May 2015.
Wow.
Okay. That must
is
have been,
rough.
yeah, that was definitely a challenge. And then for you to come back and to fight for rights for women.
I was in my apprenticeship, and in my apprenticeship, I had a different set of rules set for me than everybody else. So I lost him May 5th and went back to work less than 48 hours. In the midst of me doing that, I was pretty upset. And I went to the head and not the tail because the tail was not getting me the answer that I wanted. And I stood up and spoke for my son because he couldn't speak for himself.
That's
Mhm.
powerful.
That's beautiful.
And the question I had asked was from the start of you seeking that contract to you getting that contract with Ameren,
Yes.
How long did it take you?
Took me about 2 years.
About 2 years. But in the process, how did you sustain your company?
My own finances. I
Mm.
started my business with my own money from before I got into the iron workers. I was in the highway career construction training program, and in that program they taught us about putting money in my stocks and bonds, and so I developed stocks and bonds from my pre-apprenticeship, and I kept that money. And when I got on hard times or wanted to start my own business because I got blackballed because I uh, mentioned my son in my incident, I used my own finances to keep me afloat.
Okay.
And that's, that's power. That's what women do.
Yeah.
Because I'm
It
an
is.
educator, I'm going to go back to the certification piece just so maybe somebody in our audience don't know what a certification is or what it does for you, because we kind of jumped into, hey, get these certifications. But what a certification is an official document that eligible enterprises can apply for. So these certifications can lead to benefits like increased recognition, limit your competition, and it helps you get preferable treatment on set aside contracts and increase revenue, just like she did with her business.
Yes.
And I can relate to you because I grew up
I
in the
can too.
utility industry,
Yes, ma'am.
and I took the initiative because I wasn't getting what I wanted out of corporate America, and I knew that I was bringing value, but I could bring more value
Yes.
to my community by being able to use my creativity, because my creativity was being limited. So I did the same thing and I started my own company, and now look where we are today. So we are living proof that it can happen,
Yes.
but you have to do the work.
That's
Whether
right.
it's getting a contract
Yes.
or whether it's getting a grant, and once you get the contract, how do you fund it? So you have to be credit worthy, because you get these contracts. If you can't do the work and wait for the money, because they're not going to give you the money first, you got to wait to get paid.
Right.
You got to do the work. So
And-
you got to be financially have credit worthiness to be able to fund the project, but then you got to manage it. And that's another piece we talked about. Once you get it, do you understand and have the resources that you need to be able to manage and fulfill that contract?
And
Go
that's
ahead,
part
Gail.
of the thing that I felt that Bridget talked about. Bridget put herself on a lead to success, even in the midst of tragedy, because you had a goal in mind. You did not get off that goal, and you strategically positioned yourself to be able to move ahead even as you waited on a contract. And that's going to be very important for our business owners as they go through this. You cannot put all your basket into that one contract. You have to have opportunities set for yourself. Have you saved money? Do you have a savings or checking account? Even if it's your credit card, if you're living on a credit card, you got to have an ending game for that and a way to pay it back. So you want to make sure that you have some parameters set in place. I also saw one other thing that I caught when you talked about the tragedy, and I don't want to keep bringing. I hope it's not
I'm okay.
bringing you
Yeah. Any triggers?
any pain.
Yeah.
But I like the fact, not what happened to you, but I like the fact how you had an understanding that even though this tragedy happened, you got to move forward. You cannot stop. We have a habit as business women of when things happen to us, we freeze up and we don't move on. You have to keep that momentum going. You cannot stop. And you had that.
Yeah,
And-
I have a question for you, Bridget. So with Amarin, can you share with us exactly what your contract entailed with Amarin?
It was rebar reinforcement. I had the opportunity of working alongside with River City and Gibbs Co. Construction Company, and they partner as general contractors and utilize me as a sub.
Awesome.
And how long
awesome.
have you been with them?
Been with who?
With Amarin.
Oh, that was the project that lasted like 6 months.
Okay, got
I'm
it.
currently at the Springfield Capitol.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, what project are you doing
Yay.
here? The Capitol building.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So are you
Yes.
the only, you wanted
The Capitol.
only black female on that project, correct?
Yes, I am.
So we want to say that again. She is the only black female on that
Yes,
project.
And this
that's
is a
huge
woman's
thing.
perspective, okay?
That's right.
That's what we're
That's
talking
right.
about.
So what I want to do now, since we had mentioned it, what I want to do now, we're going to have a raffle today. We're going to be raffling off Miss Janice Candy. Let me see, Miss Janice Candy. It actually has a variety of all the candy that she makes. And
Yeah.
we're also going to raffle off our T-shirts. I don't know. Can you see our T-shirts? Okay, so we have the T-shirts that are
the
on, but we
women.
And
have
we
them
have a
on the
wine
side.
bag. We have Sergio. Can you bring one of the wine bags that we
And
have
we
over
have
there?
a wine bag that we're going to raffle
Yeah.
off as well. So I know
How
we
about
want to
if we allow
start.
Bridget to pull the business
Yeah.
cards?
So you
That would
guys,
be
Miss
great.
Janet's
Yeah.
Candy, I have to toot my own horn.
Yes.
She's been a client of mine with I used to run the Women's Business Development Center in Aurora, and she came to our scale up program, and at that time she was still making the candy out of her house, out of her kitchen in her house. I'm proud to say 2 years ago she opened up a brick and mortar,
Yes, she
and
did.
now
Beautiful.
she has her own store
Beautiful.
Yes.
in
Yes.
Aurora, and she started this business. I think she was 72 years old.
Yes,
Oh.
that's correct. And I also must
blessing.
say I've known Miss
Yes.
Janet for probably around 15 years.
Yes.
And I was so excited when she finally started the business because I kept trying to get her to start a business.
Mhm.
And she is fabulous. So we want to raffle off. This is going to be the first gift that we raffle off. We want to go ahead and start our raffle. We should
So
do
go ahead
that.
and let Bridget,
So
yeah.
we're going to allow Bridget to pick a card. Bridget, could you pick one of the cards
Just
without
mix them
looking,
up real
mix them up,
good. Yeah.
and pull a card out? And hopefully they're still around. All right, Terry.
Did you find them? Okay. Matthew J. Simpson.
Oh my
Come
goodness,
on,
he just
put
walked
yours
up
in there.
too.
Matthew Simpson from the Illinois Department of Commerce. I know Matthew very well. We do a
Matthew
lot
is
of
still
work.
Oh, you want to
here.
drop your card?
We do
in
a
here?
lot
Come
of
on,
great
put your
work
card in.
together.
Go ahead and drop
So
it up in
okay,
there.
so Matthew has won the Miss Jana candy. I think somebody's going to tell him that he's won this.
pass it
So
down.
we can pass this down.
And let
No,
me have his
what happened
card,
to him?
too.
Somebody took them.
And his card with it.
They were on the table. Somebody took them.
You lying. So all
Wow.
right.
No,
So,
I had them over there. Somebody must have just grabbed
So, all right. So, our next drawing, we're going to do a little later. We want to get back and talk a little bit more about procurement. And we thank you so much, Bridget,
Thank
for
you.
coming with us and sitting with us for a
We
moment.
draw
you,
another
Bridget.
name. We will give them the wine back. So can you draw another one? We'll give.
Oh, no,
one.
we were just going to talk a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit more and dig into it.
Oh,
But thank
okay.
you so much, Bridget.
Thank you, Bridget.
We're going to be bringing on
Oh,
another guest a
God.
little later. But right now, I want to turn it back over to Tina to talk a little bit more about the areas of procurement. So when we were talking to Bridget, we talked about how her determination for her to continue on and be focused on the goal at hand. How would you advise a business owner to stay encouraged and to move forward?
Right. So one thing that I would encourage them to do is to get out there and network, because when you're, out there and rubbing shoulders with other business owners, coming to conventions such as the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, you will be able to sit down and glean on some of the speakers and learn you can take back new tools and meet state administrators, including O'Hare Airport. So hopefully that'll be her next project. They're continually building at O'Hare. They're building a new, I don't know what you call it, a wing area.
Yeah, they got another area.
Yeah,
so
that
O'Hare project has been going on now. What, about 10 years, Terry?
I'm
Over
not
10
sure.
years, probably
Yeah.
over 10 years.
Yeah, it is
And
a
so
huge construction
It's
project.
an opportunity that if you're in construction, of course,
Mhm.
that's a great opportunity. But all of the areas, are different.
Right.
I don't want everybody to be focused totally on construction. Yes, Bridget
Mhm.
has a great company, but there are opportunities for consultants, for
Yeah.
lawyers, different areas that you can possibly get a contract in. So Matthew then came
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Matthew, come on over here. So let's talk to you a little bit. Thanks so much. He's our winner of Miss Jana Candy.
Oh my
But
goodness.
Matthew also works for the state of Illinois
Yeah.
Department of Commerce.
Mhm,
And we would
DCEO.
love to hear your opinion about how procurement opportunities are out there. I know I got blessed by hearing you on Lobby Day. He came out and was very nice to do a full presentation for the
Yes.
Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. So what do you think?
Well, first of all, thank you all. I put the card in the bowl. and somebody had the magic touch and pulled the right one. So I appreciate that. I'm gonna enjoy this all the way back to Rockford.
Don't eat it all. Don't eat it
I'm
all.
gonna eat
It's
it
a
all
lot of
because
sugar.
if these kids see it, they're gonna want to eat it. So I'm gonna eat it all.
Yeah. All right.
But I think that the work of procurement is so significant. My office, the Office of Minority Economic Empowerment, we
Yes.
did a statewide Black business survey,
Yes.
and we were able to hear from Black businesses across the state of Illinois. And one of the things we asked about were challenges related to feeling excluded.
Yes.
We wanted to ask the question because feelings influence behaviors. So we wanted to know how people felt about being excluded. There were 4 issues that were primary, and one of the 4 was being excluded from winning and bidding contracts. Black businesses felt like they were excluded. So it's very significant that we understand how we feel, because that influences whether or not we even take it serious, whether we put our name in the hat, whether we go through the steps of being certified. Because if we feel like we're getting excluded, we might throw our hands up. And those of us in the space
Yes.
doing the work are being bridge builders and helping Black businesses understand there's money there for you to get. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's very simple. Got to get them taxes in order. You got to be able to demonstrate bank statements. You got to have capability and show that you have it, and you can do it. The feelings of exclusion are a barrier, but partners like you all, service providers like you all, are making sure that Black businesses know you're not alone. You're not wrong for feeling excluded, but you're not alone.
Yes.
You know what?
Matthew,
I would-
I'm really excited about the work that you're doing
Yes, he
throughout
does
the
do good.
state.
Yeah.
So just an example, recently Matthew and I partnered together with the Elgin Black Alliance, and we created an opportunity for Matthew to come and share information about the state of Black business in Illinois. And it was very eye-opening. And Matthew is not only just collecting data, he's taking that data, disseminating it, and creating strategy to move the needle forward.
So
So,
I want
Matthew
Awesome.
and I will be working on an initiative in Elgin to help those businesses who are having those challenges and feel excluded, so that we can make sure that we make this process easier and they can get access to these dollars. Go ahead, Gail.
Yes, and I want to say I would definitely be in contact with you so we can get you on to the South Suburb as well
I want
to
you.
network.
Yeah.
But I also want to make sure you give that website of where people can get that study. So if you know it by heart, if you can share that, maybe say it 2 or 3 times so that we can have it. And then also we'll make sure that we put it on our YouTube and Facebook link under the comments.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So
As a resource. We'll
And
have
before
you as a
before
resource.
I
Let 'em
also
say the- let them say the
Illinois.gov/DCEO. First of all, it's National Black Business Month.
yes, it is.
gotta acknowledge
Yes, August.
Yes,
August,
It's
that's
Black
right,
Business Month.
that's
The state
right.
is doing a lot of
Every
programs.
month, but somebody said that's the one they wanted to give us.
So I want to hear that one more time because I want to make sure that producer got it. So he said the Illinois.
Illinois.gov/DCEO. What you're gonna see is a button
I gave that in
that's
yesterday.
specific to minority business resources.
Mhm.
Click on that, and you'll see the. I'm sorry for jumping you all through these steps. Minority business resources. You click that, you're gonna see the business resource library. The first entry in the business resource library is the statewide Black Business Survey. Illinois.gov/DCEO, Minority Business Resources, Business Resource Library.
And what we'll do is actually put that link directly to that survey that was done. And I would say, please read it. It's very powerful. After you spoke on Lobby Day, when I got back home, I actually went through that entire.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes,
doing
because
Lot
I
of
think
great
it's very
information.
important that we are informed on what's going on. And let me say this about the state of Illinois. Sometimes we could beat it, we beat it up a lot, but there are some fantastic workers that are putting in the time and the effort to change a system that was originally set up against us. Let's just be honest.
Right,
It was
right.
set up not for us. And so we have to put our part in to engraft ourselves in a system. And when you do that, it's going to change in that aspect.
Well, I guess I would say that because we weren't in those spaces,
Yes.
People didn't understand us. So when you set up systems, you set them up based upon what you know. So
Right.
now we're taking that away because now
Yes.
you know us
Right.
and you know what we need. So now these
Yes.
systems
Yes, indeed.
are being changed.
Yes,
And so I'm really happy to have Matthew as a resource. Illinois.gov, DCEO. We have it on our space, our website with the Illinois MBDA. I shared it when we spoke on the panel yesterday. But if people don't
Yes,
know,
yes,
connect
yes,
with
yes.
Matthew because they have great
Right,
newsletters.
right.
They share
They do.
all the grants.
And we will
All
have
the
again his
grants that's
self-information
available in
there.
the state of Illinois, they share it in their newsletters. So it's a great and it's a powerful resource and tool for you to have as a
I'm
business.
gonna give y'all my last card.
All right. All right. And we're going to put it in there. So before Matthew leave, we're going to have Matthew pick our next giveaway.
And
Alright.
while he's selecting it, I just want to let you know, Matthew, I know you've been on the West Side, but you haven't been with the Chicago West Side Chamber. So
Okay.
we're going to have to connect
Oh,
so we
absolutely.
can,
That's
yeah.
right. Yep, I'm
That's
gonna come
right.
check
Because
you
we
out.
have
you
9
can- you
communities
can
where we
Matthew.
want
Okay,
you to
okay.
come
Okay,
and
Yeah.
my
speak.
bad. I'm
Pick
sorry.
away. Pick
I'm
away.
sorry.
Come on. Come on. You can't.
can't go in there and find
You
your
can't.
name
We got to make it fair. And you on camera, Matthew. You on camera. You on camera.
Now,
Come
don't
on
make
now.
him work so hard, okay?
All right, we got one. Let's see. Let's see here. The next winner. Oh God, it's 2 people on this card. Oh no. Oh my God,
they-
Amron. Oh my
Amron,
God.
okay.
It
Are
is-
they still
yes.
here?
Are they here?
I think
Did
they
she
left.
leave?
She left.
No,
All right.
I don't know if she left yet. That was Chelsea. She was the young lady that asked
That
for
was-
the bag.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
she leave?
Yeah, she took all her things from back
Oh
there.
wow.
We'll
Okay.
pick another name.
So we're gonna have to pick another.
want someone
name.
who's present.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
they're
just
They,
both
they
right
had
there.
to hit the road.
Oh, Supreme. Oh my God, Valencia Jones. Now let me say this: she's left, but her dad is here, and she was adamant that no, that I promised her that if she won, we would give her dad her gift. So her dad is in there with Larry. So we have to do that. I promised
So
her.
are we going to allow
So
him
can
to
we-
select which shirt that he wants?
So can you get her dad and let her know that her daughter, his daughter,
Do you know
won?
who her dad is?
Okay, thanks so much. And we want to thank Matthew for coming. Matthew,
Thank
enjoy
you,
your
Matt.
candy.
Yes,
thank
thank
you so
you.
much.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Thank you for all the work you're doing. The media platform, the voice of our community needs to be clear and it needs to be our perspective.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
what you're providing by speaking up in this way, being here live at the State Black Chambers event, and making sure that people understand that we're not pitiful people. We're not looking for anybody to give us anything. You know what I mean? We're fighting
Come
for our
on.
lives every day.
Yes,
Yes.
And
Right.
we're using our skills
Mm-hmm.
and our products to solve our own problems.
That's right.
And what happens now is I'm able to stand next to you all
Yes.
and make sure we win together.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so
Thank
much,
you,
Matthew.
Matthew.
And
Thank
Matthew,
you, my brother.
let's share with him that you're the first man that we have allowed on our
Yes.
women's
really?
perspective.
Yes.
So you,
I feel
this
honored.
is a
I feel
treat.
Yes.
I feel so
You
honored.
Right.
special.
And speaking of
All
treat,
right.
I would just like to thank you, Matthew,
Yes.
Yes.
beforehand for
Okay.
giving this to me.
Oh my
All right, you guys. We still have one more gift, and if we can get hi.
Are we still
Our
on the show?
next guest.
Okay. We have
All
one more
righty.
guest to come up. And while she's coming, I want to share with y'all. We're talking about contracting. Understands that if you want to contract, know who you want to contract with because there's certain portals and information you may need for state government. One tool that most of them use is called Bid Buy. So put that in your toolkit. Bid Buy may be the resource that you need to go and register your business in so you can get the opportunities that's available for your business. Okay, so we have our guest, Miss Cassandra Motts
Yes.
from Medellin and Associate. Am I pronouncing that?
Medellin
Medellin and Associate.
Yes.
She is the Business Development Director.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome
Thank
to
We're
you.
so
our
glad to
Yes.
have you on A Women's Perspective. Can you tell us about the business and what you guys do?
So I'm a consultant for Medellin and Associates, and what we do, we're in the DEI space, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, okay.
So we get with corporations that have goals to meet. Unfortunately, due to the new development where affirmative action is being
Yes.
slapped down, we're on shaky ground, but still,
So are they
nonetheless.
already talking about getting rid of that department?
No, not getting rid of
Okay.
the department. We just know that it's going to come. It
Okay.
come for us. So we're going to have to be ready, right?
Okay.
And so we're in that space. So when you're talking about having government contracts,
Mhm.
there are goals. And so if they're not meeting those goals, that's when they get with Medellin and Associates, and we help them meet it from staffing to training
Okay.
to the C-suites for mission statements and visions. But more importantly, on top of that, I'm also here on behalf of Black contractors, owners, and
Oh,
executives.
wow.
So as the panelists today on energy, we're talking about they couldn't find Black people. And I say Black people because we're out of the minority space.
Mhm.
We have been pushed out of the
Yes, we
minority
have.
space.
Yes, we have.
So when they talk about minority, they talk about women, not
Yes.
Black women.
No, they're
They're
not.
talking about people of color, not Black people.
Mhm.
So when they say they can't find us, we have an organization called BCO, Black Contractors, Owners, and Executives. We can be found at www.bcoechicago.org. So that's
Can you say that one more
www
time?
www.bcoechicago, one word.org, and that's our website, and we can be found. We go all over Illinois. So when they were talking about East St. Louis, we can come to East St. Louis. We can set up camp. We can find workers to work on projects. We can find the Black contractors. We can be found if you are intentional looking for us.
Absolutely.
Right?
And so one of the things we will make sure we do, as we said to Matthew, we'll make sure that we put your information in our link, the Wake Up Show Chicago, which is sponsored by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. We'll make sure that we put it on our Facebook and our YouTube link for people to get an opportunity to get that.
And I appreciate the opportunity to get our information out there so that you can find us and we can find you and we can help you on any project that you have, because we are there, and we can go far when you go by yourself, but you can go further when you're in numbers, right?
Beautiful.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
There's
yes.
strength in numbers.
It's very much so. But
Yes.
before
Yes.
you leave, we're going to have our last drawing. It is going to be one of our shirts, the Chicago Wake Up Show Chicago. These shirts were actually designed and printed by 25. Let me see. His card is somewhere around here. 20. I thought it was 25, Mike. His
It's
cards were
25,
on-
Mike.
Can you bring one of those cards over? His cards are not over on the thing because I want to make sure we do the right name.
Right.
25, that's what I thought. 25M Printing. That is Michael Pearson, 25M Printing. He did these great shirts for us. Let me pull one up. So these are terrific shirts for the Wake Up Show Chicago, the women's perspective. We also have one that is for our regular Wake Up Show Chicago. Sorry, I'm leaning over the table here. Also, so we are going to have a raffle for one of the shirts to be given to someone that's at the convention. So we will have our lovely guest Cassandra
Mix it up
pick.
good.
You can mix it up and pull whatever you want. All right, and Terry, who is our winner? They need to be here. That's
Okay.
everybody's telling me.
Jacob Perez,
It's Jacob
Deputy
Perez.
Director of BEP.
Oh wow, is
I think
Jacob
they're gone. They were
around?
there.
They're
They were
gone.
over. I think they're gone.
They're
They were
gone,
with the
yeah.
BEP group. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're still here. Their table is
they're
gone.
gone.
So
All
That's
right,
another
so one
name.
more
One
name.
more name.
We're gonna let
Let
the
her
guest
go.
pull.
All right. There we go.
And who is that? Okay, all these men. No offense, but we wanted a woman. Maybe I should. But Stanley Webb. Do anybody know is Stanley Webb still here? Webb's Engineering Service out of Champaign. Oh. Okay, you got me. I forgot. Stanley Webb, may we have you come to the front desk, please?
okay, so Stanley
Webb.
won. So hopefully he's here.
Yeah.
He's gonna get the
hopefully he's
T-shirt.
Okay.
All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you
Well,
so
thank you
much,
for
Thank
having
Cassandra,
you
for
me.
being
so
our
much.
guest today
Yes.
and
very
sharing
much.
your insight and
Appreciate it.
sharing this great resource. And I think you said www.bcoechicago.org.
That's it.
And
All right.
Cassandra, do you still have any cards you can
I
leave?
have a QR code. Everybody's not up to system with that, but I can give you my QR code.
All right,
Absolutely.
great.
All right.
All right.
All right,
So
thank
we've
you.
had a great show today. It has been a lot of fun. And
Yes.
we have we're still here at the Illinois State Black Chambers Conference, and we have some more activities and events that's happening today. But if you're not familiar with the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, you should go to their website to find out more information about how they support minority-owned businesses. We are partners with them, Gail,
Yes.
Tina, and myself, and we're here to close the gaps and help businesses to get the opportunities that they need to grow. So Larry Ivory is the president of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and every year he hosts this annual conference. Every year he has the boat
Yes.
ride in Chicago. We
Yes.
did that this year, and it was wonderful. And it creates an opportunity for businesses to really network. Networking is more than just going to an event, showing up, and passing out business cards.
Agreed.
It's way more than that. It is really making genuine connections, having conversations about this is what I do, or this is who I am. How do you connect with the person and build a relationship? Most times we come to events and we think that, oh, I'm going to get a contract. You're not going to get a contract at event. You have to build a relationship.
That's right. That's
So
correct.
that's what these opportunities that the Illinois State Black Chamber provides. They provide the opportunity for you to start and build those relationships.
And it's important that you come out and support. And I find sometimes that people think, oh, so, well, why should I come out?
Mhm.
2 days, oh my God. But at this conference, you get a chance to engage with CEOs of companies,
Mhm.
even other people who are like yourself,
Mhm.
who are engaging, opportunities to network and maybe even partner.
Mhm.
Find a strategic partner that you can go after a larger contract with.
Yeah, and I want to share with you just some of the workshops that were held today, and
Yes.
especially what's happening now. There's still time for you to come and glean from some of the knowledge here. We're still taking registration seriously. So this morning there was an energy panel. We
Excellent.
had all of the
Excellent.
energy departments within the state of Illinois, People's Gas. We had the Illinois Water. They were here. We had wasn't Amarin, but it was
Amarin's
Amarin.
president.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
were the president of Amarin was here.
Yes, the CEO. Yes.
Yes. And then ComEd was also here. So this afternoon it was digital marketing and how it can help your business grow. We also had doing business with state agencies. So we had IDOT, Illinois Tollway, the Capital Development Board, Chicago Airport Authority, and the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. What's happening a little bit later is how to grow your capacity. So that's going to be the last workshop. And then we get to party a little. So we're going to have a reception and there's going to be entertainment. So yeah, there's still time. If you're interested and you still have a desire to come, please do so. We still have a little room here. And you want to end, Gail?
Yeah. So, oh, okay. So, are we ending or keeping going?
We're going. We're still going.
Oh, we-
so,
oh, okay,
so,
that's right,
so
because we're
we
not
are
in the
we are
station,
being
so we can-
We're being
Yeah,
recorded.
we can do
So
what
by
we want to do.
so by the time they hear this show, we will have completed the conference.
That
But
is correct.
anyway, we're having
Yes.
fun while we're here, and I just want to add to what Tina shared about the events and what happened here at the conference this year. Yesterday, our producer LaDonna Ray kicked us
Yes.
off with and shared
The producer,
LaDonna Ray.
We gotta
She
have
kicked
LaDonna
us
Ray
off
come over
and
Come
she
have a
here.
seat
talked
down,
about
LaDonna.
and she really highlighted how to network and get value out of
Excellent
this
job.
conference, and she did a
Excellent.
really
Yes,
powerful
yes,
job.
we need to give her a hand.
And then-
we got to give
Yes.
her a
Yes.
Yes.
And then we had a
You
segment
don't want
on
me to say anything?
compliance and accounting. Yes, we
you don't
do.
want me to say
Yes, we do. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
I don't-
LaDonna. Take it away.
We just have fun. We just have fun.
Yes.
You know what, LaDonna? How about if you, LaDonna? How about if you just give a little excerpt of what you shared?
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tina. I feel weird on this side of the microphone with you guys. No, but it's very important to because I'm with Ray Consulting. Okay, LaDonna Ray Consulting. We do marketing.
Yes.
Marketing is such a broad statement, and a lot of people come out to conferences and they feel like they're networking just because they're there. As I used to teach my students, I used to say, hey, if your house is dirty, you go to Target, you buy a mop, a bucket, the cleaning supplies, your house is still dirty. You have to actually put those things together. Okay, there are steps and strategies to actually cleaning your house. The same thing goes with marketing. Just because you come to a conference, you're not all of a sudden networking. You have to market yourself.
Yes.
So I was telling them how to maximize their time here.
Mhm.
I'm at the conference. What do? Well, first of all, you have to know how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some of us struggle in that area. Some people raised their hands and said they were shy. And when I told them my little secret, they didn't believe me
What's the secret?
that I was
That
shy.
she was shy.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna tell you guys,
OMG.
in all honesty, I don't buy it either. That woman can talk. Oh my God. No.
And yes, I believe her because I'm an introvert.
Thank you.
I am an introvert, and
I
I
am
had to
also,
teach
believe it or not,
myself
yes.
how to be an
I don't
extrovert
believe it.
because of my career.
Yep.
And
you have
so
to.
you have to.
You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
But a lot of people asked some really good questions. We had
Yes.
fun, engagement, and we talked about.
Bye,
Oh, that's how
Matthew.
we
Bye,
are.
Matthew.
Don't forget to put the candy on the table, though. Okay.
Safe travels.
All right, take care. But yeah, I mean, it was just fun information. We also talked about how to work the room, how to review the speakers.
Hello. How are you?
How to review the speakers and know who's. Look at Gail. Gail, you've ever done security?
What? I don't
She
know. I'm
rough.
just trying to make
Don't
sure.
play.
But
Go
anyway,
around, Lester. Go around.
Please, Lester, go that way. Yeah. No, we're having fun here. Everybody wants to walk up to the table now.
That's the thing,
So
you guys.
funny.
We're not live, but we're taping.
Yeah.
So we can't have you walk in front of the camera. So
We don't want you to trip over the
I
cord.
know it's all good. You know, this is the
No men on the
I've
show.
never
Yeah.
done security, but I can get serious really
You got
fast.
it.
I know
You
I
got it
can.
right.
I
You
can
got
get
it right.
serious really fast.
But anyway,
so.
I'll let you continue. And
Yeah.
ladies, you
I'm
guys are doing
sorry,
a fabulous
LaDonna.
job.
I'm
Great.
sorry.
But-
I know you're gonna
and I apologize, LaDonna. You know, I kind of interrupted
She gonna
you.
have to.
But I want to say this. I do want to say this. Yes, I am taking over the show today. I guess.
She really
It's the
is.
She
Gail
always
Newcomb
takes
act.
over the
No,
show.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
By the time you hear this, we will be promoting the
Pastor, come
2024
on.
show. And we would love for more people to come out. We will start promoting this show within the next 2 to 3 months.
Yes.
We're going to have a cruise. We're going to have still 2 more days of business and networking with some of these great companies that are here today. They will be coming back out. And so it's so important. We want Black contractors, Black business owners to understand to engage with each other. And
Absolutely.
that's so important.
Yes.
So,
And we have our friend here. We couldn't
Yes.
go without having our wonderful
Praise God.
other co-host with us.
Bless you.
She's not able to be with us as much as she would like to,
Yes.
but she's here with us right now. So
Hello,
introduce
everyone.
yourself and tell
Yeah.
everybody who you are.
Pastor Sheila
Sheila.
Brown, the president of the Rockford Black Chamber of Commerce. I am
Yes.
so excited to be at this convention. It's truly have been a blessing to me and my husband. And I'm just looking forward to continuing working with the state chamber to help bring resources and support to Black businesses in our community.
and you know what? She's being so modest. Pastor Sheila actually has a daycare.
Yes.
That
34 years.
is, yes. And she has a Christian school
Yes.
for kids. So, you know, she's also an entrepreneur. So
Yes. And we
Yes.
are
Not
we're
to
happy
mention her
that she
bowling
can
alley. Don't you have a bowling
that's
alley?
right.
I have
She
a
has
bowling
and
alley
a
as
trucking
well.
company.
Alley as well.
Trucking
Yes.
company.
Yes.
And a trucking company.
A serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
That's what I would say she is.
We're happy that she was able to stop by and say hello with us today for just a little while. But we also want to let you guys know that we host our show every Thursday third Saturday of the month. And if you want to be a sponsor, you want us to promote any of your services, your programs, reach out to us because we will be happy to support you.
We're always looking for sponsorship.
And so we are really having a great time here at the conference. Awesome. And we have a lot of people that are passing by, and so we are happy that folks are really engaging with us and understanding what we do and really liking what we do and seeing the value in what we do.
And thank you, Pastor Sheila, for coming.
It was my
over
pleasure. It's just an honor to serve with these wonderful women.
Thank you.
This panel. Bless you all.
You guys have,
Blessings
you have a great day.
to you too.
All right. All right. So, do we have any more tidbits on procurement?
Okay, so we're still sharing information here. So I talked a little bit about Bid Buy, and which is a tool where you can put your business information where you can get information on opportunities that are available from different communities. We talked a little bit about certification.
Yes.
And so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the challenges and some of the solutions that are being taken to increase capital access. So while many sole proprietors function as they are designed and are happy at the current state of their business, there's also grants that's available to businesses too. So sometimes with grants, there's designations that you need. And so yesterday we had Dr. Barbara that was here, and Dr. Barbara is a really good friend of Gail. And she talked about the SAM.gov registration. And Tina talked a little bit about how important SAM.gov registration. And even if you want to do federal contracting, you have to be registered in some instances in SAM.gov. So we have another guest who's coming on the show. So we wanted to add that tidbit about the importance of registering in SAMS.gov. And if you're interested, you can contact the Illinois Minority Business Development Agency. And if you're looking at a contract, it could take a little while, 30 days to get registered in SAM. So if you're interested in a contract, you should get registered as soon as possible.
Right. And if you're in Chicago, on the west side of Chicago, you can also contact the Chicago West Side Chamber of Commerce. You can reach us. Our website is www.chicagowestsidechamber.org, or you can reach us at 773-931-2145, 773-931-2145.
All right, so we're going to interview one of the winners of one of the outstanding awards yesterday. So I don't want to mess up your name. I apologize. So if you could say your name.
Yeah, my name is Toyin Kolawale. So Toyin and hi.
All right, she was the winner. I don't want to drop this, so if you can help me look, you say you ain't gonna help me look.
Oh, I thought you were gonna give it back to her. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna give it back to her.
We actually wanted to show it.
So let her. Oh, you gonna show it here? Oh, okay. I didn't know if you
Yes.
could see it from over there. Okay, we'll put it there.
Okay, well, producer, step on in and put it
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was trying to get you.
Oh well, we're doing everything off the cuff.
Yeah,
so I didn't know.
it's the Unity Globe. So the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce yesterday gave out 4 awards, and this is one of the winners. And so we wanted to have her sit down and talk a little bit about herself.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So you want me to go ahead and introduce myself?
That's right.
All right, my name is Toyin. Speak here. Is my mic. Toyin Kolawale. I run EF Foods. We're based in Naperville, and we're a food manufacturing facility. We make. That's me. Yeah.
We have a meeting next week, and I had never
Oh my
seen
God.
Yeah, Larry Ivory and we had an opportunity to tour her facility earlier this year.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now my chicks are hurting from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can continue
Go
telling
ahead,
her.
Toyin. So yes, I run a food manufacturing facility called EF Foods, and we make 2 major things. We make dry blends, so that is like your pancake mixes, your baking mixes, your spice blends. So think about anything that is dry, that is in a pouch, is in the plastic container, that is food. We make those.
Yes.
And number 2, which is our newest and biggest expansion, is big snacks. So cookies, crackers of cookies, had cookies, bars. We're gluten-free and we're better for you. We're based in Naperville. It's a 40,000 square foot facility with over $5 million in equipment.
Yes.
So it's a significant expansion for us, because last year we're in a 3,000 square foot facility, right, with $250,000 of equipment, and now we've just done this massive expansion that can do over 20 million pounds of dry blends a year and over 6 million pounds of baked snacks a year. And we're gluten free, which is kind of like a fast growing segment
Yes.
of the food market, and also fast growing manufacturing initiative, because somebody has to manufacture what people want. And there are more and more people who are gluten free. As a matter of fact, some of the data I've seen has said about 25% of American households have someone who is either gluten intolerant or has celiac or something that has to do with gluten free. So what you see happening is, if you have one member of your family who's gluten free, the rest of the family will usually adopt a gluten-free lifestyle, as long as the product is innovative in terms of its taste, in terms of its texture, such that it's near indistinguishable from wheat or conventional products, and it's affordable. And I do the same thing.
All right. So I want to ask you, the fact that you went from, you said, a 3,000 square feet to a 40,000 square feet
almost,
facility. So how did you manage that? We're talking about procurement today. And so I know you're already certified.
Yes, we are.
So how did you manage that growth, and what kept you focused to get to the next level?
So my background is in private equity, and private equity is kind of like when they invest in companies. So I grew up in Nigeria. I probably should have mentioned that at first. I moved here about 20 years ago for my MBA at Kellogg. I majored in entrepreneurship and innovation. So that's kind of like the education part. Then obviously the career path. I've done private equity. I worked at Bain & Company as a consulted with, Fortune 500 CPG food companies. But before all of that, I grew up the first daughter of 5 kids in a Nigerian home. And essentially what that means is like, you're the assistant mom, cook, clean, I'm the first daughter, right? So that responsibility kind of falls on your shoulders. And my mom, she's been diagnosed with dementia now, and it's, progressing really badly. But so in some ways, business is one way that I connect. That I remember, I don't use the word remember because she's still alive, but she's dealing with dementia. But she was somebody who was very entrepreneurial. And when I say entrepreneur, she owned multiple businesses. When I say that, a lot of Americans think, oh, rich. No, it wasn't that kind of rich. I'm talking about like really home-based, not very big type of businesses. For example, we sold water, and water means people are coming in buckets. I'm not talking about big water like we do in America. I'm talking about people are coming in buckets and literally fetching water. We sold that. We sold kerosene, which is a cooking fuel. We had chickens in our household. We had goats. I mean, you could come into my house and see 5 different type of hustles. I probably shouldn't call it a business. I should call it a hustle, so people will understand what that means.
So your entrepreneur opportunity mindset comes from your mom.
It does.
So when you engaged your company, in terms of your first opportunity contract, how did you go about getting that?
The first opportunity contract as a minority-owned business. That's actually still something that we're building.
So you don't have any contracts? You got contracts?
No. So
no contracts
we
yet?
do have minority-based opportunities. But I want to quickly mention that Iya actually means my loving mother in Yoruba. Which is a very popular West African language, popular in Brazil as well. But we do have minority opportunities. For example, we've gotten opportunities through Walmart, through naturally Chicago. There's one we're working on with Target right now. We've done
all of your products.
So these are your
in
products
here.
that you're placing in stores.
Exactly. So the products we have in stores that came through, even though I believe we compete, regardless, but there are opportunities. A lot of the doors that have been open for us have been through diversity initiatives. But in terms of actually contracts, it's now that we're beginning to think about it more seriously and beginning to work towards that. Because if you remember what I was saying, that when we were a much smaller business, we were just focused on the brand. But now that we have this expanded manufacturing capabilities, our focus is more private label and co-man. And now we're looking to get into airports, like getting our cookies and crackers into airports, getting into Chicago public schools. And because we've seen businesses that do $500 million supplying schools with cookies and crackers. And when I look at those, I kind of find a single black-owned brand.
No, you won't.
Woman-owned brand.
So what would you suggest for a woman who wants to get into your industry or any industry? What would be some takeaways that you can give her?
So the first thing is, I always say that the food industry is one area where I think we can rapidly build African-American ownership. There's something I always say, especially myself and to my kids, is that it's not the person that creates value that retains value, it's the person that retains value. That retains value. And I feel in the Black community, we create a lot of value, but you can't find that value in our net worth.
Yes.
You can't find that value in our bank accounts. You can't find that value in our legacy. So the reason I'm kind of tying all of this to the question you just asked is
Yes.
food is one area where I feel like there should be more, significantly more African American equity and ownership. The reason for that is even if you look at the kind of like the history of America, right? Look at slavery. Who was doing the cooking?
We were.
Yes.
We
Who was
were.
doing all of the taste, all the flavor
The
profiles,
women.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And to give you a perfect example of what I mean by how the African American community creates value but doesn't, you cannot find the value in homes. Look at, for example, when they make stereotypical insults about fried chicken, who are they talking about? Black
Yeah.
people, right? But who makes billions from fried chicken? When you look at all of the fried
Yes.
chicken franchises,
Not us.
Companies that
Not
we
us.
will
Not
not
us.
name.
I mean, I love that.
so you have a
Yes.
situation where African Americans have created value in something delicious and tasty, but
Right.
you cannot find equity
African
or
American.
You
value
can't find the
in that
equity.
in that
Yes.
same thing where
Right.
we bear the brunt of every kind of negative impact, even when that thing is a positive thing, but you cannot find the equity. So in terms of advising, Black women are one of the fastest growing entrepreneurship groups.
Segments. Yes.
The number one advice I would give, and I know this might be a little controversial, is I've learned it the hard way, is have a Black strategy. So you have to have a business strategy, but you have to lay on top of that a Black strategy. And here's what I mean is be very clear about how people see you,
Yes.
which means where they see you, they're going to see a Black person. And with that comes a lot of pitfalls. With that comes a lot of negativity. With that comes a lot of problems. And the reason why I say Black strategy is, it's not approaching it with a, this is bad, this is sad. It is bad. It is sad. But you can never guilt people or beg people to give you equity, no matter what. They'll give us tokenism, token equity, right? So for example, if there's a fund out there that is giving people $2 million, go check it. If you go to the Black communities, you see that fund is there, but maybe there's a cap of $20,000, or maybe there's a cap of $200,000, which means everybody else can get 2 million. You are participating in the opportunity, but you can only get 20,000. So what I mean by that is when you understand how people see you, then your Black strategy can say, how do I overcome my Blackness? You have to in business. And that's one of the hardest lessons I've ever had to learn in America, because growing up in Nigeria, it's 99.9% Black. So I didn't ever have to overcome a Black strategy.
Yes.
But here, I've had to learn that.
Yeah.
So which means when I enter a meeting, I know that I'm a woman. I think I'm a beautiful woman.
Yes, you
So
are.
I know that I'm a woman. So I'm like, okay, I'm a Black woman. How do I overcome being a woman, being a Black person? I have an accent also. How do I overcome that? And I love to illustrate things using examples. I'll give you an example. When I started approaching stores, more than one, more than two, was almost like 6 out of 10 would say, well, we don't have an African section in our store, even though I'm holding cornbread, and Nigerians don't really eat cornbread. It's a very American product, right? But I'm holding the cornbread. All of a sudden, that cornbread takes second level importance. The major thing then becomes my Blackness and becomes my foreignness, even though I'm an American and I've been American for 20 years. And so I had to then figure out, initially I used to get very angry. I'm a Leo, it's my birthday tomorrow. So
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So initially I used to get really mad and I'll say, you guys carry Greek yogurt. Did you ask how many people from Greece would shop the store? Did you say we don't have a Greek section? Because when you go to the yogurt section, you see there's actually a product called French yogurt.
Yeah.
There's Greek yogurt,
Yes.
but they didn't have to create a French section. They didn't have to create a Greek section. Now, I'm an immigrant, a Black person holding cornbread, and you're asking me about creating a Black section or an African section.
Oh my God. I
But
can
I
listen
had
to
to-
her. I can listen to you all day. I'm only cutting
was
you all
amazing.
day.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
I can
let
talk
me
all day
say,
too. So-
I can
We're all
honestly say,
captivated
yes,
by
yes,
you and what
and
you have
so
to
on.
share
Yeah.
your value.
Yeah.
Yes. But LaDonna told me a minute ago we need to wrap up, but everybody's
All right, let's wrap
captivated.
up.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
no, before you leave, I want
Yeah.
to make sure we get your information
Okay.
because we definitely, I'm gonna say it. I'll talk to Larry.
Yeah.
I think we should have a panel on just branding. We need to have
Yeah.
you on that panel.
I'd love to.
We
I'd love
definitely
to.
need
Yeah.
to look at doing that for next year at the conference.
I'd love
And
to.
So we gotta make
let's-
sure.
and
Don't
let's
leave
also
without giving us the
close.
information.
Yeah.
If you
Let-
can
let's
give it to
also
the
close.
producer, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was nice to see all of you.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing you
Wait,
later.
before we let her go, let's
Yeah.
also just close and talk about the award
Okay.
that
Why
she
are you
received.
closing?
No, I meant before she leaves.
Okay.
Oh,
We're not closing the show. Before she leaves, let's
LaDonna
also
said we
kind
are closing the show.
of
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. We're sorry. She actually is the winner of the Unity Globe.
Outstanding Business Award.
Outstanding
Outstanding
Business
Business
Award.
This
Yeah.
is a Unity Globe, but the
Yeah.
title
Yes.
for award is the Outstanding Business Award.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
look forward to
Same
working with
here.
you and
Same here.
talking to you, because there were two gentlemen, business owners
Yeah.
that connected us
I know.
like 2 days apart.
I know.
And it was like, okay, we got to get
We
together.
have
So I
to,
look forward
yeah.
to talking
Thank
to
you.
you.
Me
All right.
too.
Okay.
And I had to get together with you because
Yeah.
my sister Jess
Yeah.
did our
We're gonna say cut
heritage,
it off.
and
Yeah.
I am from Nigeria,
Who's the
from the
next guest?
Yoruba.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
you're Yoruba too. Makes
Yeah, I'm
sense.
throwing that in, but okay.
All right,
Thank you.
All right. Okay, our
Thank you
next
so
guest,
much.
we have another guest. Who's the next guest?
Oh,
Oh,
our president,
Larry Ivory.
We have the best guest
That's
ever.
right.
Our
So-
president.
And he's the second
Yes.
gentleman
Yes.
on our show. We had
We're gonna
Matthew
have a-
first. Matthew was the first, and now Larry is the second.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming to
Oh,
be
no,
with us
no,
today,
no.
Larry. Welcome to our show. We were talking today. We were continuing a conversation on procurement and contracting. And so that is an area where I know is near and dear to your heart, because we understand if you can't get a
Yes.
contract, then your business, the chances of your business being sustainable is limited. So, Larry, talk to us and tell us how the conference is going and anything else you would like to
Yes.
share with our audience today.
Well, just let me say that, again, we've had such a great audience and also with you young ladies who are, rocking the house today at the conference, but you rock the house every time the women come on the show. And I couldn't be prouder of the work that's being done. I think one of the key things here is that people are connecting to each other, getting the chance to talk, to learn from each other, listen to each other, and really understand how important it is for us to come together. Because, like they say, a man or a woman with $100 got power, but 5 men or 5 women together have greater power.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to come together, work together for the common good, and be committed to excellence.
Yes. Yes.
And I know I got some young women around me who are pushing, and they want excellence, and we ought to demand that from everybody.
Yes,
and we
absolutely.
ought to encourage that, because we ought to be better at
Yeah,
what we do.
absolutely.
If we're not striving to be better, then we're not really growing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick, I just wanted Valencia, the daughter of our
Oh, Valencia won, Miss
yes.
Jones. Yes. So that's
if
her
you can come
father.
over,
Yeah.
yes, we're gonna have your
But
daughter
Larry, let's,
actually won. And so what size shirt does she need? Okay, all right. Okay. I'm sorry.
I was hoping that again we were going to have Brent Jones that was going to come on, and he's a father of, but I don't know how much time Madam Producer we have.
Right.
Got
Yeah,
you.
right. You are.
But you know what though?
But we can bend
Yeah,
our
we-
rules.
so we were-
just
we were-
for
wanna bend the
today.
rules
Yeah, we can bend
because
our rules
this
for
man
today.
has been such a good partner with the chamber, and we want to make sure that is correct.
So, Larry, thank you for coming and spending a little time with us. And I know we're bringing Brent on. So,
Yes.
Kick me off, put Brent on.
thank you, Larry.
Thank you so much, Larry. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just kicked him right off.
Yes.
Oh, man.
We still take it. You know what, President Ivory, we were not kicking you off our show, but we want you know we love you. You know we love you. All right.
That's
We're
a nice
having too much
tie
fun,
that
right?
Larry
So
has
happy
on
to
too,
have
by
you.
the way.
His daughter actually won the shirt. It's a medium, the shirt you think she would want?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
And she won a beautiful award last night as well from
Yes.
the chamber. So deserving as a woman business owner who's coming up through her family and continuing to help build their legacy. I'm really, I was very encouraged to
Yes.
see that. It means a lot to us
Right.
as women.
Right.
And we're glad to have you on the show. So
Yes,
just
we
tell us
are.
about
Yes, we are.
what you guys got going on over there.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I think that it's a testimony right now to strong women like yourselves. Really to have an opportunity to have my daughter come on and try to help her do some things, because many times we have
Yes.
women lead households. Right now we have to have women lead businesses. and
Yeah.
things of that nature. So
Yes.
I'm glad and proud that I can be a person that be a role model, and have her come on and do some things. So for the most part, we kind of started. She's third generation. My father had a company called Sonic Craft, and then I kind of grew up. I was a special assistant to my father, and how it is, the dynamics of working with your family. Many times we have right now. Many times right now we have situations that we're not a mom and pop shop, which means that one has to understand how to work with in a corporate structure.
Yep.
And more let not be a dictatorship in terms of somebody telling somebody what to do.
Right.
It's kind
Exactly.
of a round table in terms of direction. All the different understanding and things she has to offer is really highly appreciated. So we started off. My father's engineering manufacturing. We have a company right now, Sonic Craft. My company, this company, Sonic Craft. My company, Supreme Solutions. We primarily do government contracting, areas of acquisition, information technology, program management. Also, most recently, we got into renewable energy.
Yes, yes,
Those are things on
yes.
the south
So I
side.
have a question for you. What would you tell a entrepreneur that wants to get into government contracting? What would you tell them to do? How to start?
Well, first, as anything, one has to really understand their product and service, and also what you're trying to sell
Yes,
to.
yes.
If
Know your target market.
You got to know your target market, which maybe really understands there's a great deal of complexity in terms of now you look at the program, what it has to offer. Now, there are companies that are very successful because someone may have come out of an agency or retired.
Right.
But for this average person, John Q. Public, it's very difficult to really get in and get acclimated if you don't understand the environment. So
Right.
I would tell somebody really understand the marketplace, understand their product and what things fit in, and how can the government get to you. And that's where you have different vehicles right now and how the government can procure with. We talk about the 8A program. We talk about small business set asides. We talk about different government schedules. One has to understand the entire environment to really be successful for the government.
Right.
Now,
And,
I would like to
mentioned
know
yesterday when we
Oh.
did our panel how information leads to access and
Absolutely.
access to capital, access to
Right.
contract. If you don't have the information or go after the information and then apply it, then you're not going to be successful, like you said. You have to know the market, and you have
Right.
to be include yourself in events like this. And Gail just tooted the horn about you, how great you guys are as supporters and being in the community. You have to do those things in the marketplace. You have to know how to play in the marketplace.
Absolutely. I accept
Yeah.
this teaching
I-
because I really work for my daughter. So any strong person knows the woman show this woman's world. So I mean, be on the show and do my part.
Let me ask. Can you share with us like what kind of like broke the ceiling for you? Was it like the shelter market, or how did you get your foot into the government?
Well, again, I'm second generation, and my father, we had 500 employees on the south side of Chicago with the engineering and manufacturing. So I came from a landscape and also a foundation that my family understood the environment. Then I myself, I went to work on Capitol Hill for Congressman Gus Savage.
Okay.
So then I understood it from another standpoint.
Yeah.
I was somebody who could probably come in and run a government operations division for somebody, understand the dynamics between how the federal government can help you get work on Capitol Hill. Many times you write things in the budget, you have to bid on some things. So there's a number of different ways we have grown to understand that environment.
Yeah.
So I would say there's a combination of things, understanding really on how the government landscape, the 8A program, for example,
Yes.
different set asides and also different programs and also having a good product. We have
Right.
a very good product and also we know
Right.
how to sell. My
Right.
father was
And
engineer,
so
he know how to sell.
what you're mentioning, you're a second generation or you're third generation?
I'm second, my daughter's
Second.
third.
So with your dad who first founded and got into the business, can you share a little bit about your father?
Yeah, my father, Jerry Jones, he's still here.
Yeah.
Not here physically today.
Yeah.
Right,
In
right.
spirit, he called me. I talked to him last night.
Yeah.
But he started off. He went to Illinois Institute of Technology, IIT, on 35th Street. I used to go over and watch the stock split across the street back in the day. And from there, he went for Argonne National Laboratory. So he was able to really go out and really understand how to sell to the government because he worked with the government while he was in college. And that's why
Right.
one thing I'm doing right now, run the HBCU program for different federal agencies. Because it's very
Nice.
important to have different programs from the federal government going to schools and stimulate things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So he went to IIT. I'm trying to do some things with HBCUs in the same format right now.
Yeah.
The college just talked about that.
Beautiful.
But basically, because he understood that dynamic, he was able to start a company in our basement in Chicago, in Chatham. I saw somebody from Chatham, 82nd.
Oh yes, the
82nd
Chatham
side.
Business
Chatham, okay.
Association.
There
So-
she is.
Yeah.
Okay, there she is. Okay. So we start off in the basement in Chatham. I mean, I could not go down the stairs because he had oscilloscopes and things in the
Yeah.
basement. We had nowhere to play.
Yeah.
So then we moved on 74th and Stony Island from there, 83rd, in Burley, and then over on 89th and Greenwood and 95th in Dorchester. So each given scenario, we went from 100 employees, 150 employees, 300 employees, and so whoever
Kept growing.
That's
I saw
right.
the neighborhood grow because we had employees.
Yes.
And we did to stimulate the whole
Right.
town.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes,
That's
yes.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
I want to ask one more question. We're not
Yes,
going
ma'am.
to keep you, but I want to understand how, you know, a lot of people give up on business
Mhm.
because they hear no. And I
Yeah.
know you heard no sometime,
Mhm.
A lot.
but what kept you going? Is there a, a few words you can say about what somebody needs to do so to keep them motivated to keep
Yeah.
Well,
going?
you know, again, we talk about family. We talked about, strong women. My grandmother, my mother, keep things moving. Don't give up.
Yeah.
So that's what a great women leadership.
Yeah, this is so inspiring, I tell you.
Involving the women being the foundation of the character of many of us. So we go back to that. Don't become a quitter.
That's
Right.
So I
right.
think it's a family. It's the dynamics. It's the hard work. It's the family motivation. I think
Right.
the congressman said today.
Right.
I'm following over the congressman's house. My follow over Jesse Jackson Jr. So I think we understand what we mean to one another. What we
Yeah.
are our community.
Yeah.
We're in economic war right now.
Yes, yes.
absolutely.
We're in battle every day.
Yeah, we are.
So we
Yes.
need everybody to pick up and do what they can do their
Yeah.
part to help us in this battle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you
what I'm
know
saying?
what? That's beautiful. And,
Yeah.
and the young lady was talking about slavery and how that relates. We've always been economically
Yes.
entrepreneurs. We had to. We didn't have a
That's
choice.
right.
We had to take the stuff that the masters gave away, like
Right.
the leftovers from the
The
hogs and all of that.
hogs,
And we had to
yeah.
figure out how to
Shit,
eat, how to
work.
feed our family.
Yes.
So we've always had that entrepreneur spirit,
Yes.
right? That
Right.
enterprising spirit. So
Right.
we always had to figure out to make a way. And
Right.
now it just seems like it's even stronger. We just got to fight that battle even harder in today's marketplace because even though opportunities are coming our way,
Mhm.
things are trying to be taken away from us.
Absolutely.
They say they're going to open up opportunities for minority grants over here. Somebody wants to challenge it through a lawsuit or something.
Yes.
The 8A program.
Yes.
So we have to
Mhm.
stay strong and we
Right.
have to push through and we have to stay in the fight. So we're
Yeah.
so happy
Well,
to
we're
have
so
your
excited.
perspective.
Yes,
We are.
thank you so much.
Yes.
And thank your
I tell
daughter.
people all the time,
Yes.
we're war. I'm gonna stop when the Pentagon closes down, which the Pentagon never closed.
Never
down,
closed.
and we
Never
can't stop as well.
I
That's
know that's
right.
right.
That's
Thank
right.
you,
So
Brian.
much.
All right. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
All right.
All right.
Well, it's been a great show.
yes,
We
it
are
has.
happy with being here
Yes,
with the Illinois
we're
State Black Chamber of
energized.
Commerce.
Yes.
Gail, Tina, I love you guys.
Yes, love you too.
Can't wait to the next show.
Yes.
Thank you guys for
Thank
joining
you.
us for
And our
Women's Perspective.
producer, LaDonna Ray. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're not gonna dance. Dun, dun, dun.
You want to keep the mics here?
Yeah.
Keep the mics in front.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, everybody in.
Yes, we're all in.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Ah.
So we got to do our. You got to play some music. I won't